Jai Radha Madhava Jai Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So this morning I'm reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, text number 45. We're ending the chapter here, and tomorrow we'll start with Maharaj Prakrit, cursed by a Brahmana boy. What was his name? Shringi. Itam bhutanubhavojam
Itam bhutanubhavoyam
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Yasya palayata shanim
Yasya palayantah sauhim
Yuyam satha dikshita
Yuyam sutatvaya dikshita
Itam bhutanubhavoyam
Itam bhutanubhavoyam
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Yasya palayata shanim
Yasya palayatah shaunim
Yuyam satraya dikshita
Yuyam satraya dikshita
Itam bhutanubhavoyam
Itam bhutanubhavoyam
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Yasya palayata shanim
Yasya palayatah shaunim
Yuyam satraya dikshita
Yuyam satraya dikshita Ittam bhutanubhavoyam
Ittam bhutanubhavoyam
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Abhimanyu suto nripa
Yasya palayatah shaunim
Yasya palayatah shaunim
Yuyam satraya dikshita
Yuyam satraya dikshita Itam Bhuta
Itam Bhuta
Bintas
Lindas
Anubhava
Anubhava
experience. Ayam
Ayam
of this
of this
Abhimanyu Sutta,
Abhimanyu Sutta,
son of Abhimanyu,
son of Abhimanyu,
Nripa, king,
the king,
Yasya,
Yasya,
whose Palayata,
Palayata,
on account of his ruling,
on account of his ruling,
Shaunim,
Shaunim,
on the earth,
Yuyam,
you all, Satraya,
Satraya,
in performing sacrifices,
Dikshitaha,
initiate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Mars Pricket, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that, by dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. Who is he speaking to?
Sutta Goswami.
Sutta Goswami. And the sages there.
Sages.
Purport. The Brahmanas and the sannyasis are expert in the spiritual advancement of society, whereas the kshatriyas, or the administrators, are expert in the material peace and prosperity of human society. Both of them are pillars of all happiness, and therefore they are meant for full cooperation for common welfare. Mars Pricket was experienced enough to drive away Kali from his field of activities and thereby make the state receptive to spiritual enlightenment. If the common people are not receptive, it is very difficult to impress upon them the necessity of spiritual enlightenment. This is the problem, we're distributing so many books and we're doing so much preaching, but people are just not very receptive, just like can't grasp it, Very difficult. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, the basic principles of religion, prepare the ground, the reception of advancement in spiritual knowledge, and Mars Pricket made this favorable condition possible. Thus, the rishis of Namasranya were able to perform the sacrifices for 1,000 years. In other words, without a state support, no doctrine of philosophy or religious principles can progressively advance. There should be complete cooperation between the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas for this common good. Even up to Maharaj Ashok, the same spirit was prevailing. Lord Buddha was sufficiently supported by King Ashok, and thus his particular cult of knowledge was spread all over the world. Om Gyanatamanandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksham Vitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Kutubhasalam Pamnam Gaidegin Yat Kripa Tadaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Vanchakapatibhrischa Kripa Sindhu Vachapatitanam Bhavani Vaishnavi Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions the Brahmanas and the sannyasis are expert in the spiritual advancement of society. So these are the leaders. These should be the leaders of society. The Brahmanas, Samo Damas, these are the qualities of the Brahmanas. Samo Damas, Samo means peaceful. Shanti, Shanti, Shanta. I was given a class the other day at the mantra zone. And one guest asked, so what was your what was the experience that you had the most unusual experience you had as a devotee? And I was like, wow, that's an interesting question. And I said, well, finally I said, in the 80s, 70s and 80s, we used to all go out in Santa suits as Santa Claus and collect donations. It's very unusual. All of us, all the Sankirtan of us.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know about that. Would have the pillow and the beard and the whole thing, you know. Just yeah. And I was going to go out one day, and the Sankirtan leader said, you know, there's going to be a news team that's going to come, and they're going to, you're going to be on TV. So, oh, okay. So then one news team came by, and I said, "Oh, you're the ones that are going to video us today. Hare Krishna's doing Santa Claus." Well, we weren't planning on it, but that sure would be an interesting show. Yeah. So they videoed me, but didn't turn out so good. Yeah. So yeah, that was quite unusual. Yeah. But Prabhupada, that was when Prabhupada was still here. He said, "Yeah, that's okay. Devotees are the Roshantas. Yeah. Shanta means peaceful, saintly." So actually, back then, now there's all the temples are pretty much supported by the Hindu population. We didn't have that back then. We depended solely on book distribution practically. So that was a big way of bringing. But after a couple of years, they stopped it because it just wasn't very good. Wasn't very good PR. But yeah, devotees, samodhamas, peaceful, self-controlled. It's so important that the senses be controlled. Because if we don't control the senses, then that's right, the senses control us. Better to control the senses, because when the senses control us, oh man, it's just all havoc. Just all havoc. Terrible. That's pretty much what, that's everybody. Called Godas. Servant to the servant. We're trying to be Goswamis. Controllers of the senses, not Godas. But to control the senses, it's not easy. The senses are. I remember I saw one painting when devotee made an amazing drawing of how the senses are pulling. The ear is pulling. There's some nice music, and the nose is pulling. You smell nice fragrant things, in the eyes you see the opposite sex, and the tongue to taste something. It's like, wow, this is really graphic. It's like, wow. That's the situation. The senses just being pulled in different directions, right? But a devotee controls all the senses and engages the senses in the service of Krishna. Iha yasya harer dasya kamana manasa nikila sapivasvas jivan suchi. The devotional service means to engage our senses in the master of the senses, Krishna. And the side effects is our senses get purified. So yeah, we get a higher taste, then we can control the senses and fix them on the service of Krishna. Here in the purport, Prabhupada, he mentions that the leaders, they have to drive away the Kali, they have to drive it away. So individually, we have to also drive it away. Maya may enter our consciousness. It happens sometimes, right? Yeah, no? So as soon as Maya enters, there should be like a red alarm alert. Maya has entered, Maya has entered, Maya has entered. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. That'll drive away Maya. Works every time. But we have to catch. Sometimes she's very sneaky, you know. She's just slipping there. You know. Whoa, where'd that come from? Hare Krishna. Otherwise, Maya takes us away. So it happens so much, unfortunately. And Prabhupada eventually he said, "Don't be surprised about those who are taken away from Krishna. Be surprised about those who stay with Krishna." So, yeah. Samodhamastapa. So austerity. Austerity is so nice. Because by austerity, we get purified. Nayam deho dehabadam naloko. Custom kaman arhate vidvitam. Tapo divyam putakayena satam. Sudyad yasman. Sokam. Yes. Rushabdev says, a persons who have accepted material bodies, persons who have accepted the human form, they shouldn't waste their time in engaging in activities of the animals, which is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But they should engage in austerities to reach the divine consciousness. And this is how to purify the consciousness, austerity. Rising early, chanting Hare Krishna, hearing Bhagavatam, all these things, they're very purifying to the consciousness and satisfying. So much so that devotees lose interest. Visaya nivartante raharasne rasabardam param paramtasanavar. They lose interest because you get a higher taste. If you don't have a higher taste, then the interest in these lower things will continue. So therefore we're doing these austerities to get this higher taste, to get this attraction to Krishna. This is the goal, to become attracted to Krishna. Samo damas tapasosham shantir. Shantir means peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity. Tolerance. Shanti means tolerance. Tolerance. Yeah. But we shouldn't tolerate Maya. We should tolerate inconveniences to ourselves, but we don't tolerate Maya. In the material world, there's so much distraction, so many things that we have to tolerate, and it's not easy. But if we get the help of Krishna, we get the help of the spiritual master, we get the help of the Vaishnavas, then we can learn to tolerate. We have nice examples all over the world of devotees that are very tolerant. We have so many nice stories in the books of devotees that are very tolerant, that we can learn from. Chanadapi sinichena tarorapi sistana manina manina kirtaniya sadhari. We want to chant the holy name in a humble state of mind, think of himself lower than the straw on the street, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, we chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Such a beautiful verse by Lord Chaitanya. The tolerance is so important. So, Samodhamas tapasajam shantir arjavam. What is arjavam? Means simplicity. Yeah, simplicity. So our slogan in the Hare Krishna movement is simple living,
high thinking.
Yeah, so we live simply. As Prabhupada said, we're floor dwellers. That's why I'm sitting on the floor. Generally, when we first joined the movement, there was no furniture. We were poor. Now we got couches and chairs. We've grown, but simple living, and it's nice. Simple living, high thinking. There was one person who was he didn't like the Hare Krishna movement, so he got the whole movement called the deprogrammers, to deprogram the devotees. Parents would be upset, so they'd hire this guy. And one of his complaints was these people they don't even eat off plate. They eat off wax paper. Wax paper. Yeah, devotees used to eat off wax paper. We didn't have plates. He said, I treat my dog better than they treat their people. We were poor. Not all the temples, but some of the temples were like that. So, but it's simple living. If you go to Udupi, when I was in Udupi, they would have a place where prasadam was served out. Who's been to Udupi? Yeah. You've been to Udupi. You've been to the prasadam hall? There's no plates. Mm-hmm. They don't even give you a plate. They just have it's just cement. And they just come and they put the rice, they put the prasad, they put the dog, and you eat right off the cement. And then it's easier to clean. Mm. You don't have to worry about getting plates, throwing plates away. And it's clean cement. I guess they can be clean. So it's good. Simple living. So Samoa Damasta Pashat and Shantir Arjum Evacha Jnana Vijnana, knowledge. The Brahmanas, they have knowledge. Some of these Brahmanas, and they know the whole Bhagavatam. Mm-hmm. You heard about that? They know the whole Bhagavatam. I met this girl, I don't know if I mentioned this, she was like 12 years old. She knew the whole Bhagavad Gita, all 700 verses. I would say a verse. I would say the number, and she would say the verse immediately. Whatever number I would say, she would say. I was like, wow, 12 years old. Some people have these amazing memories. So jnana, but more important than jnana is vijnana, realized knowledge. Not just having the knowledge, but being to actually live. That's why Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita became so popular all over the world and made so many devotees. Because he had vijnana. His commentary is just like amazing. Each sentence in Prabhupada's purport is like a sloka in itself. Yeah. Because it's filled with so much realization. And Prabhupada said that the purports was Krishna dictating to me. Amazing. So, yeah. Jnana vijnanam ashtakam. And then here, Prabhupada also mentions that there's the Brahmanas and there's the sannyasis. So the sannyasis, they're renounced. Idahinandriyarthesu. The karma sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Yoga guru. And what is the translation? Anyone know that verse? One is understood to be elevated in yoga whose every endeavor is devoid of the desire for sense gratification and fruitive activities. So this is a sannyasi, devoid of the desire for sense gratification and fruitive activities. So to get free of that desire, it's not easy. Yeah, we have to get the higher taste. There was one instance where a devotee was in Mayapur and Prabhupada wanted him to go somewhere else and preach. But this devotee had already been set on going to New York to preach because he had been preaching all over the world, but not in a place where they spoke English, so it was kind of hard. So he didn't want to do what Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada finally said, "You're so renounced. You've renounced the order of your spiritual master." And when Prabhupada said that, okay, Prabhupada, whatever you want. So there's certain things we don't renounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sannyas, yeah, this is that's a difficult ashram, as we've seen. But it's yeah, as one grows, then one naturally becomes detached. As we grow spiritually, we naturally become detached. Just like even materially, like all of us, when we were children, we used to play with cars, right? We all used to play with cars, isn't it? and marbles. Do you guys play marbles?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big thing, playing marbles. But as we got older, then we lost interest, isn't it? We lost interest in cars and marbles, and we grew into higher, more sophisticated. Huh?
Sophisticated.
What is it?
Not sophisticated.
Oh, yeah.
Claim it to be sophisticated.
Yeah, you guys had games probably. You had video games
Yeah.
when you were growing up, right? Yeah, we didn't have that. But then it becomes, then it really becomes crazy then. Kids just get lost in the world of video games.
Yeah.
But then, as one grows, then it's the waste of time.
Yeah.
And then start looking into serious search for the truth. Those are the fortunate ones, and rare, very rare to find someone that's looking for the truth. Manushyanam sahasresu kasya yadatam kasyam mami. As many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection. And those who achieve perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. The Prabhupada said, actually, out of many millions, out of many millions, one may endeavor for perfection. Therefore, we shouldn't be surprised that we're distributing so many books and people are interested. It will be a surprise if someone does show any interest. It's like I meet nice people on book distribution. They're so they're so nice, nice knowledge, have a nice conversation. Then we get their invitation, and we try to cultivate them. What happened? What happened? You were showing so much interest. Maya is very powerful, very powerful. But Krishna is more powerful. So we try to help them, try to grow ourselves in spiritual life, and try to help others. Now here it's interesting, at the end of the purport, Prabhupada mentions that there should be a complete cooperation between the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas for the common good. These are the two pillars, right? The Prabhupada mentions that the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas. Even up to Maharaj Ashoka, the same spirit was prevailing. Lord Buddha was sufficiently supported by King Ashoka. And thus this particular cult of knowledge was spread all over the world. As soon as you get a leader to take it up, then it really makes a difference. So we're working on the President of the United States now. But you know that amazing pastime? In 1976, He did an amazing service. You know about that? We didn't have a place to grow to build the Rath Yatra carts on Fifth Avenue. It was Prabhupada said the most important city, the most important street.
Yeah.
And we had no place to build the carts. So one devotee, I was just speaking to him a couple of years ago in Mayapur, in Vrindavan. He, actually that it had been banned that any more parades go down Fifth Avenue. It had been an understanding that no more parades. They had so many, just too much, and they were banned. But this devotee went to the person in charge of the head council member. Said, "Listen, we gotta have my guru's coming. He's like a great personality. We have to have this Rath Yatra." And he was just so sincere that the head councilman, he signed it. All right. And as he signed, he said, "I don't know why I'm doing this. We weren't supposed to do this." And we've been having it every year since then. So we didn't have a place to build the carts. So this devotee, he wrote to Trump. He was already, this is back in 1976. He was already a big businessman. So he owned some land. So he asked the devotee, "Can we build these carts on that land that you have?" He said, "Yeah, go ahead. And we won't charge you." He could have charged a good amount of money too. A lot of land, you probably needed it for like at least a week. So he got the mercy. That's why he's president.
Sure.
So Krishna saw that. That goes to his eternal Neha Bikramanasosti Pratavayana Vidite. Any endeavor, any service, that goes to his eternal benefit. So with all we see that he's doing wrong, he did something very right. And what does Krishna say? In every endeavor, there's a fault. Right? Anybody here not have a fault? We all have faults. But Krishna, Bhavagrahi, yeah, he sees the essence, whatever. He sees the good. He overlooks the bad. He sees the good. So, therefore, we should try our best. We know, fortunately, we're getting so much knowledge, so we know what we should do. We know what we shouldn't do. Fortunately, that's a big problem in the material world. People don't know what to do. Haven't a clue what to do, what not to do. And we also, isn't it? We didn't know. Well, you're from Indian back, so you had some idea what's right, what's wrong, what to do, what not to do. Some idea, right? A little bit. We had no idea. It's zero. But then now we got Prabhupada's books, so we know. But we had to keep in contact. Right? As Vaiseshika said nicely, he said, no gap. Prabhupada said our philosophy is a no gap philosophy. Means no room for Maya. As soon as we become a little lax, and then Maya moves in. He's become a little lax. Time to come in. No. Hearing, chanting, as Lord Chaitanya, when he was going through India, he would chant, Krishna, 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 Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare. Krishna, 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 Rakshama. Krishna, 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 Pahima. Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna, Kesava, Krishna, Kesava, Krishna, Kesava, Pahima. Pahima means Krishna will protect me. No, maintain me. maintain me. Rakshamam, he'll protect me. Right? So Krishna will protect me and he'll maintain me. Just absorbed in Krishna. And that'll be the perfection of our life. Got to be absorbed in something. People are mostly absorbed in Maya, sense gratification. So better be absorbed in Krishna. It's very interesting that Vaisesika Prabhu says, because Prabhupada says that when you leave this world, you go to a place where Krishna is performing his pastimes. And you get trained up on how to live with Krishna and coward boy. But Vaisesika Prabhu said, we don't have to wait. We can do it right now. Get trained up right now. How to be with Krishna. All right. That's staunch. You're like, wow. Yeah. But yeah, it's true. We learn how to be a pure devotee right here in this lifetime. Just focus on Krishna. And it's nice to focus on Krishna because Krishna is nice. He's cool. Never hear about Krishna, God being cool. There was one, before your time, there was one to show us called The Happy Days. You've heard of the show Happy Days? There was one character on the show, his name was Fonzie. And he was like, this guy was like super cool. And he was just like, it's just, you can't be cooler than Fonzie. I mean, he was just, people would walk into a room and they're like, Fonzie. Just to give you an idea of how cool he was in a forest, he was sleeping, trying to sleep, a lot of crickets, a lot of noise from crickets. And then he sat up and he snapped his finger, and all the crickets stopped. So at one point he said, no one can be cooler than Fonzie. But actually, Krishna's cooler. Krishna's cooler. He's so cool. Brahma, he came to test. He came to test Krishna. Who are they saying? This is God. This is, they took all the cowherd boys, all the calves. But let's see what he does. He's God, that's what he does. Come back and they're all there. Exactly as they were. He's like, wait a second, I just took them. How's that? So then he thought, now I'm in trouble. So then Krishna manifests his forearm, like, wow. When I read that passage, it's like, wow, that's cool. That's cooler than Fonzie. This is God. He could do amazing things. Yasoda looks in his mouth and sees the universe. She sees herself in his mouth and the universe. Like, wow, that's amazing. So Krishna is amazing. And the more we hear and chant and serve Krishna, the more we'll find out how amazing Krishna is. And Krishna will reveal himself eventually. So maybe we'll stop there. Any questions, comments, reflections?
There's a memory by Gargamuni Prabhu in the book. He has, but in the memory, he says that in 1966, 22nd Second Avenue, they didn't have sufficient money to buy vegetables, so they would get almost about to rot potatoes, and they would cook that, and they would also get watermelon, and they would eat the fruit and then use the rind as sabji. They didn't have enough money because watermelon was only 10 cents a pound at that time, bro. So they would buy a lot of watermelons, offer the fruit, have the fruit, and then make a sabji out of the peel of the watermelon. And Prabhupada apparently said that he asked some devotee who came from India later that, do you eat the green of the watermelon? No, but we used to cook that and eat it. So he used to say that.
Wow. We were pretty poor in the early days. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. But now, I'm so wealthy. Prabhupada said, like, I went to America with 40 rupees, which is useless in America. Now I have 40 crores worth of, property and cash and everything. He said, who has such experience in 10 years? I mean, 40 crores, that's a lot. So Prabhupada is he's very devoted and a good businessman. Good combination. It's good to have. Yeah. So, yeah. Anything else online or? Okay, so we'll stop on time. Srila Prabhupada ki